Hey, I'm Judy Bradt of Summit Insight, and I am here to welcome my friend Jennifer Schaus of Jennifer Schaus Associates.
Hi, Judy. It's so great to be with you today. Thank you for the kind invitation.
Back at you. How long have we known each other?
I want to say it has to be 15 years. I believe we were at some government contracting networking events together, and I want to say it was probably back at the Tower Club many moons ago.
How did you get into government contracting? How did that happen?
Sure. So it was kind of, I'll say, an evolution. I was working for Dun& and Bradstreet in their government division, and left there around 2001. And when I was in their government division, we were kind of the stepchild of the company and probably about 10 people in the office. If you went to their division now, there's probably, I'm going to say maybe 30, 40, 50 people, all carrying a bag, selling to all the different agencies. But we were a small group and ended up getting the GSA schedule while we were there. So I kind of got my indoctrination into GSA schedules and government contracting through that business experience.
So you've been running your company since 2001?
A little bit after, I had a couple small clients there on the side that I helped with GSA schedules and some sales and marketing, and then started really kind of putting foundation down and deciding this was something that I absolutely wanted to do and felt the fire in the belly and just decided to go for it.
You got to have, I think that's one of the great things that we have in common with our clients. We've started businesses. We've been through the fire. We've been through the
Right.
sleepless nights. And I think that's one of the things I love that's different from when I work for government. That we put everything out on the line every day the same way that our clients do. So our businesses have both evolved. Today, tell me, who are the people that you work with and what problems do you solve for them, and the people you'd like to be seeing more of coming across your door these days?
Sure. No, thank you for the question. So some of our clients, I'll say, are a little bit outside the typical box. We do work with, I'd say, 50% of the client portfolio right now is made up of large businesses as defined by SBA standards. And
Hmm.
obviously that varies based on the industry codes. And then the other half will be small, but they're probably on the mid to larger size of
Hmm.
small. So we work with Brother Printer, we work with Invisalign, and a couple other Segway we've worked with. So a couple
Wow.
of these kind of, like I say, out of the box companies that have kind of been scratching their head about federal contracting and then decided to really go for it.
That's a lot of fun. Those are good folks for me as well. Like, I do work with companies in the commercial arena who go, we know how to do commercial, federal's complicated. We want a surgical effective entry. And so those are some of my favorite. What kinds of services do you provide for the clients that you're most looking forward to working with next?
Sure. So our, I'll say, main signature service is GSA schedule assistance, and that's putting together the GSA schedule proposal, project managing the process, submitting the proposal to GSA, and helping companies from start to finish. So A to Z. And as I mentioned, we work with companies of all shapes and sizes, A to Z, airplanes to zippers, and everything in between. But some of the other services we provide that have evolved out of companies just coming to us saying, hey, we think we need the GSA schedule. But then through a candid conversation, we learn that the only reason they're getting it is, or the only reason they decide to pursue the schedule is because GSA has done a great job of marketing themselves and they have no idea really what they're signing up for and they haven't read the fine print. And this actually may be a liability to the company and not an asset. So from that we have created some other, we'll say, services or products, market analysis report, to really cast a wide net over all of government and let the companies know who's buying their services, how are they purchasing, is it going through a GSA schedule, is it going full and open competition, and then let them make decisions based on that data. And then we can fill in some of the other missing holes. So if they decide that the GSA schedule is not in their best interest and they should really be using their time, money, and resources into hiring a full-time sales rep or a sales consultant, we can then help them with that.
Wonderful.
Uh,
That's what I think, one of the things that I like that we have in common, and that's the importance of having data to make good decisions based not just on guesswork, but on confident facts so that you can focus
Right.
on where the money is for your company. Now, what are you seeing people struggle with these days, and what do you think is most important for government contractors to know? If there's one big thing that you think people should pay attention to that could make a difference for their success, what would you say it is?
Yeah, so I think kind of what you just alluded to, that this market is so unique because there is so much, I'll say, free data that's out there. Now, granted, it may be cumbersome and tedious to go through, formerly FPDS, USA spending, some of the GSA sites, Beta SAM. But there is so much data that's out there. And so whether you go through that data yourself or you sign up for a subscription with any or many of the data providers that are out there, you can, I'll say, reverse engineer your way into a successful government contracting program. So really just using that data to identify opportunities, be very strategic and targeted, and not responding to every RFP, I think is wise, again, just to really use that data to propel your strategy.
Wonderful. I like that very much. Now, you provide a tremendous number of resources. You're doing 3 regular programs. Tell me a little bit about what each is, just in a snapshot,
Sure.
and why people would benefit from participating. And are they free? And which ones are free and which ones are paid?
Great. So in 2020, we decided to cover every part of the FARS. So there's roughly 52 parts, 52 weeks in the year. So we did that series on Fridays, and we brought in guest speakers who are government contracts attorneys. Once we completed that, so for 2021, to answer your question and not rewind here, 2021 on Wednesdays, we cover the DFARS. Again, those are complimentary. They're all recorded. They're posted on our YouTube channel, which now has over 450 complimentary government contracting webinars, a little bit over 3,000 subscribers, again, all complimentary data. And really good information out there. And I can say that because they're government contracts attorneys who are speaking. And so we go sequentially through the DFARS, again, roughly about 52 parts.
Okay, so
We also
DFAR Wednesday, and then you've got a monthly, right?
Correct. So the monthly is the GovCon Live Q&A Cafe. That is the second Friday of every month. This is priced at $35, so a very small business friendly price tag. You'll get the $35, gets you the recording, gets you the PowerPoint, but it also gives you an opportunity over the course of 90 minutes to hear from subject matter experts, 4 panelists, type in your question. And so each month has its own theme. Anything from oral presentations to subcontracting, which is this month, to mergers, I said M&A, I think maybe, and just some other government contracting topics.
Wonderful. And Summit Insight is a proud sponsor. Thank you for inviting me to help get the word out about that, and that we can tag each other on that every month. And finally, you've got some quarterly things, right?
Yes, good memory. So the quarterly events are what we call the hot topics in government contracting. So we try to keep a pulse on what's happening in the government contracting community, whether it's new regulations around, let's say, mentor protege, or something that popped up in the NDAA. The government contractors should know about, covering even OTAs and just some of these other hot topics. So again, we bring in guest speakers. Those are typically priced at about $35 for each attendee. Again, very small business friendly. You get the recording, you get, it's roughly a half a day session. So about 5 sessions, 35 minutes for each session.
Wonderful. And we're posting along with this recording the link where someone can sign up with one link and get invited to all of those. So you can find out which one's coming up that appeals to you, get that on your calendar, bring your friends. Sound good?
Correct. Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. There's so many folks who share generously and give people information they need to know in the government contracting space. And I'm glad we're friends. I'm glad we get to do this together. And I encourage folks to take a look at your website, consider the expertise that you've got, and for sure, tap the events coming up that are addressing challenges that are going to make a difference for you in the federal market. Jennifer Schaus, thank you for joining us today, and go forth and make it happen for the people in your community.
Great. Thank you, Judy. It's always great to see you, and thank you again for the opportunity to participate in your program today.
back at you. Take care.
Thank you.